Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on the What I Love About Sex podcast. Today's episode is a reminder for you guys to know that you will backslide when it comes to the sex issues you're dealing with. You'll make a mistake. You'll say something you didn't mean to say. You will do something you feel like you shouldn't have done. And that's okay. You know, you're human. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna fuck up, so to speak. You know, be in a situation where you're having sex and you told yourself before you would take really deep breaths and you would do something to calm yourself before you went on this date. And then you realize you're on the date and you're really, really nervous and you're like, shit, I should have done the thing. And I didn't. Fuck. You know, I'm going back to old habits. And you start focusing on the fact that you messed up and you let your focus steers you in the direction of what you're going to do next. So if you're focusing on you fucking up and your problems and you made a mistake, it's going to make you fumble your words, your actions. You're not going to feel as confident. You're going to be talking negatively in your head. And then from that date, using this example, you might go into sex in a very anxious place, which is going to lead to you not performing the way you want to. It's because of your focus, that came from how you handled your mistake. That's really important. How do you handle your mistakes? You have two choices. You can beat yourself up about making the mistake, or you could just be like, shit, I probably shouldn't have done that, but what can I do now that would be helpful? And that immediately directs you to a question that helps you answer, a productive question that points you in a direction you want to be. But there's a lot of you who focus on the fuck up. You focus on your mistake and it causes you to focus on more mistakes, like negativity, right? Taking actions that don't align with you at your most confident self. So you really have to acknowledge the fact that you're going to have setbacks. You know, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have a bunch of sex experiences where, you know, your dick is finally hard every time and you have really powerful erections. And then there's one night where not so much. And you get to decide, how do you treat that one night? How do you react to that one night when that erection was not as hard? Do you put all your focus there and be like, all right, well, I guess I'm back to square one. Here I go again. My problem's back. I guess this is me again. This is how it's going to be. I guess I got to get back on the pills again. Or are you going to be like, I had a bad night. You know, it was just a slip up, but next time will be better. You know, I'm fine. I'll shake it off. Or what can I do to make myself more comfortable right now if I'm feeling a little awkward with her? Or what would I say to a friend right now so I'm not as hard on myself about this? Sometimes it takes an outward perspective to help you not be so hard so that you can create that acceptance of just like, okay, like it happened, I'm human. There's going to be times when I go backwards a little bit or I make a mistake, and that's okay. So ask yourself now, like based on your sex struggle, if it's a dick-related issue or if it's more of a partner issue, ask yourself, am I really hard on myself when I make a mistake, or can I shake it off? Like, what is my reaction to my backslides or my mistakes? And how can I improve that reaction so that my focus stays on what's working versus what the mistake was? You know, I'll give you another example based on my personal life. So I struggle with feelings of anxiety. If there's a situation, say with Andrew, I have an anxious reaction to something that we've discussed in the past, I can either be really harsh on myself and be like, shit, like you guys talked about this before. Like, why does this come up again if you talked about it before? Like, why the fuck does this bother me so much? Why am I so damn sensitive? Right? Those are usually my negative words that come up when I am frustrated with anxiety. And then the other side of me is like, whoa, okay, but that conversation, and even though that, you know, you had anxiety, that anxious moment was a lot more calmer and regulated than the previous one around this topic. So, okay, like it's better. You know, you learned how to be more calmer about this, and there's just obviously still a concern around it. So what can you do to figure out what the concern is so that next time it comes up, you're even more regulated and able to maybe let it slide without having to talk about it? Right? This is kind of difficult to explain without giving you this specific example, but it's just too personal. So you see what I mean? Like, you have to acknowledge, like for me, I had to acknowledge, okay, anxiety came back. I can't be like, oh, like the anxiety around this is still here. Like, what's wrong with me? I can look at it that way. I can have the reaction when I bring up anxious behavior around something. Or I could be like, oh, I had an anxious slip up. I wish that didn't happen. Yeah, but it was better. I handled it better than last time. And if I didn't handle it better than last time, then I can ask myself, what did I learn from this experience? Why do I think it was just as intense as the last one? What question do I need answered to help me feel better about this situation? What do I need? How can I get what I need so that this same event does not happen again? And in that way, I'm accepting that there's a slip up. I did something I wish I didn't, but I'm trying to learn from it. And I'm trying to understand, acknowledge what I did better. And if anything, understand what I need from here to be more self-regulated so that it doesn't happen again. And then if it does happen again, same thing. It's rinse and repeat. It's okay, well, did I do anything better in handling this? And even if so, what can I do to reduce anxiety even more? Okay. And I'm learning and I'm teaching myself a new way to self-regulate around whatever thing is making me anxious. So I'm accepting the fact that I'm backsliding, but I'm not allowing it to just blow up and be like, okay, well, this is me. This is who I am when you bring up this topic, or this is me when you do that thing. Take it or leave it. I am not that type of person, and I'm not someone who's going to be a victim. And in that case, I have to learn about myself and learn from each mistake I make and not be so hard on myself when I do make the mistake. And no, I'm going to keep making mistakes. We all are, right? I'm using anxiety as an example because that comes up for me. But we all make mistakes. Like some of us are more prone to get heated in an argument, and you may raise your voice or act mean toward your partner. And that might be your thing that you've been working through most of your life. And you're like, oh, shit, keeps coming up. You know, I keep saying something cruel. Like, I don't want to do that. But instead of feeling guilty and hanging on to that guilt and being like, yeah, I could be a dick when I'm mad. Instead, don't accept you could be a dick when you're mad. I mean, accept that you are, but don't take that as this is how it has to be forever. Take it as, all right, well, what could I have said differently to not be mean, but still get my message across? What did I really want her to know? And maybe that's why it came across mean, because I wanted her to see something so bad. What did I want her to see? And then you're probably going to be mean again because it's out of habit. You've been doing it for so long. But the next time you're mean, you ask yourself, was this less intense than the last time? Did I learn anything from last time? Okay, cool. I think it was a little less intense. Okay, what do I have to do next time if this happens to self-regulate even more, calm myself down faster, get my point across, but not be mean about it? What do I have to do? Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try that for next time. And you keep teaching yourself. And this may take you taking notes, to track progress around this. And even if it's a dick-related issue, because this is what I do with my clients. We track things. We track, okay, what made this a really good experience where you were able to hold off ejaculating for an extra minute? What was it about your mood? How are you feeling going into that experience? How exactly did that experience happen physically? We understand the surroundings and what was involved. And when you can understand that, you can learn from it. So then you stop seeing setbacks as, oh my God, I'm crumbling, like everything's falling apart. I thought I was seeing progress and now I'm not anymore. And fuck this, it's stuck with me forever. You can't think like that. Because whenever you think like that, what happens? You shift your focus back to the problems. You shift your focus back to being a victim. And you shift your focus back to, poor me, I guess I just will never have sex. Like, that's not true. doesn't have to be true, at least, if you work on it. And it could be really fucking frustrating. Like for me, working through my anxiety and having similar conversations because the anxiety is still wrapped around that thing, it's frustrating. I'm like, I wish I didn't feel this way about this. Why can't I just be relaxed about this? Like there's a part of my brain that's like, there's no reason to be overwhelmed or anxious about this thing, but my body has this reaction whenever it happens. So it's very easy to become flustered, especially when you don't even understand why you are. When you don't understand it, it's very frustrating. But the only way to understand it is to learn from each experience and to ask yourself, what action am I going to do next time to not have that same reaction? What can I change? What has become better? What am I getting better at? And what can I change for the future? That way, you're always focused on moving forward. You're always focused on growth. You're not focused on staying in the same place. You're not focused on being a victim or your mistakes. You're focused on moving forward and getting better. And there's going to be days too when you completely lose that focus and you're totally negative, or maybe you're really mean to your partner and you're like, the next day you realize, oh shit, I totally fucked up. But even if you catch it the next day, that's not too late to ask yourself these questions. So learn from your slip-ups. Know that you will have slip-ups. Just because you solved a problem doesn't mean that problem's never coming back. It most likely is, especially if the problem's been with you for years and years, or most of your life. It's going to come back. It's going to test you. It's going to see how you're doing. And you have to pay attention to how you're dealing, how are you responding to it? When your response gets better, your actions get better, and you become more confident, and you change the dynamic of whatever situation you're in. Okay? So I know it's been helpful for me, at least personally, to learn from each experience I have and not be too hard on myself, because I don't learn well when I'm hard on myself. I don't get curious about myself when I'm beating myself up at the same time. It doesn't work that way. You're either really negative and judgmental towards yourself and victim-minded, or you're curious and you may be frustrated, but you're still trying your best to learn and to understand what's happening so that you could change your actions moving forward. And that way, in the future, a slip up or a backslide, whatever you want to call it, mistake, will not feel the same because you'll have handled it differently, and you'll even notice yourself feeling proud of the progress you're making because you see how you're handling it differently each time and how it's getting better and easier, and you're becoming more self-regulated. So, yeah, hope this gives you confidence like it gave me. And it's okay to slip up. You're human. I'm human. We're going to do it. It's okay. Don't sweat it. Have an amazing morning, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world, and I'll talk to you soon.